So today we will be discussing about the Callisto Alarm Control Panel. For those of you who have not used our Callisto Control Panel yet, it is our hybrid solution for alarm control panels. This has been manufactured by EBS here in Poland, and usually this is used in applications such as intrusion alarms and smoke detector, or if just to as a whole solution for your security needs. So let me introduce to you some features about our Callisto control panel. Here are some interesting information. So the Callisto alarm control panel have 16 zones. It has also two partitions, so two subsystems. And with this alarm control panel, we have the AVA application. This is the handy smartphone application that allows us to manage our Callisto alarm control panel. It's very user-friendly also. Okay, by the way, guys, before I go on through our presentation, I just have to say that please do listen, because at the middle or at the end of the presentation, I will be asking questions, and you would be receiving a prize if you answer my questions correctly. So the first one who will be answering my questions later would win a prize. And I would like to, of course, run down to you guys what I will be discussing before I continue. So in this webinar, you would also be learning about the remote arming and disarming. You will know about what's great about Callisto, the remote configuration, the Watchdog features. We will also be showing you how to set up the AVA mobile application. So if you have any requests, like what more you want to know about our Callisto control panel, you may message us. Arthur is just waiting beside me for any questions you might have. We are answering the questions as we go along. So just click on the chat box on your right side on the tab, and we will be answering as you go along. Okay, so moving forward, here are some features of the Callisto Alarm Control Panel. As I mentioned earlier, it's a hybrid solution. So there are 16 inputs, where 7 of them are wired and 9 are wireless. You also have the option to also have 16 zones wireless if you want. Here are the line types for this, and it is very interesting to note and to highlight that we also have here the perimeter and perimeter exit line types. So this is one of the most useful line types for the system. Of course, to set up this, we would be needing our programming modules. We have here in your screen 2 of them. So first is the SP-Prog, the blue one. This is the universal programming module for all EBS devices. It's also very easy to use since it's using USB connection. The other one here is called the GD-Prog. The GD-Prog is using RS-232 connection. So that's also designed for the new control panels of EBS. So with the SP-Prog, you can set up all EBS devices. With the GD-Prog, it's selected devices. So, of course, one of the most important things to set this up also is the application to set it up, which is the configurator. The configurator can be found in our website. I will be showing you where you can get it and how to go there. So first, to have the configurator, you have to go to our website. Our website is www.ebs.pl, and then you have to log in. So you can see here that there is a login button at the top center of your screen. Okay, so I will highlight it. Yeah, so that is the login button. Click there, and you will be directed to the landing page of login. Okay. Now we are on the login page. So here you have to enter the username and password. It's very simple, guys. Just remember that the password and the username for this is EBS. So it's the same. And for the language, there are different languages. You can choose English, which is Angielski, or you will also have in other languages as French or Spanish or mm, Russian. So you may choose the language that you would prefer. And after that, you would be directed to the list of all the manuals, firmwares, including configurator of EBS. So to download the configurator, just choose this one. This is the latest version, so that's v1.3.60.5. That's the latest version. It is very reliable, and we all have a very stable configurator, so use that. Next is then you will have the configurator and computer. So before we launch the configurator, I would like to show you how the transmission works from our devices, including the Callisto, to your monitoring software. So how it works is that the devices, EBS devices, sends transmission by GPRS or internet. It also transmits by SMS. So there are two options that this may transmit. First option is that it may transmit directly to our OSM receiver. So our OSM receiver is the EBS middleware. It is very reliable, and it can carry up to 10,000 devices simultaneously. The most interesting about the EBS OSM receiver, the software, is that it's free and you can have a lot of devices. One of our clients were actually telling us the other day that the EBS OSM receiver is the best that they've seen in the market because it's very secure, encrypted, and free. Uh, the other option on how you would be transmitting the events is by sending the SMS through the modems via RS-232 to the OSM receiver. And from that, OSM receiver would be transmitting the events to your monitoring software. So what's interesting here is that the OSM receiver may transmit to multiple softwares, not just to one. It can transmit to two different kinds or the same kind. So you have very secure and various options on what you could use. By the way, the monitoring software that you may be using are compatible with our OSM. Uh, Most of the monitoring software nowadays are using SureGuard protocol, so we are working with that. Okay, so now I would like to show you the configurator. So here in the configurator, we have different tabs, and I will be going through it one by one to show you how to set up the Callisto control panel and explain some details. So first, we have here the access tab. The important things here are the parameters, the server address, access, and APN. So, okay. So for the device mode, you can choose if you want it in SMS, GPRS, or serverless. So usually for the control panel, we are using GPRS, but of course you may also use GPRS and SMS. And for the server parameters, please enter your server address and server port. This is very important to be filled up. And of course, you also have here the service codes. So in addition to the service codes that you can see here, there are two additional ones, which is for administrator and also for regular users. So in addition to that, just in case your SIM card of your phone have a PIN, you have to enter it here. So it would be working quite well. It is also recommended that you change your service code for security purposes. And now for the APN. The APN is for the SIM card that you are using locally. Check what the APN of your network provider is and then enter it here. Different SIM cards have different APN, especially per country and per network provider. So make sure to get the right information. Okay, so guys, I would just like to remind you, if you have questions, Arthur is right here waiting to answer your questions. He would be very helpful to all of you guys. Okay, so now let's go to transmission. For the transmission, we are using default for it just to be in to make sure that everything is encrypted. So yeah, there you go. And of course, one of the most useful tools here in the configurator would be the inputs and outputs, especially that we are setting up a control panel. So first, I would like to describe to you the zones. So as I've mentioned in the beginning, our alarm control panel has 16 zones where everything can be wireless, 16 of them, or you can have a mixture since it's hybrid where 7 can be wired. So as an example here, in zone mode, there are different modes that you could enter for your wired sensors. And for example, here I have NC for my zone 1 because this is for my tamper. So it's normally closed. And of course, you also have the option for the wireless here. And for the response type, you can also have a different configuration depending on the requirement of your client or the position of the sensors. In addition to that, there are more options for you to fill up if you need. These are different parameters to really specify what the sensors would be configured to. So you see here the interlocking, sensitivity, delay. Okay. So now let's go to the wireless detectors. The wireless detectors would show you how many and what devices you have there in your control panel. So I would show you now how to add and delete devices. So I have here a motion detector in zone 2. I would delete it first. So to delete a detector, just click the box, remove device, and as I have set up the service code for this as 000, that's what I will enter. So just use the service code you assign to your control panel. So there you go. I have already removed the device. Now I will add it back. So to add it, just add device, enter the service code 0000, click read, and then, okay, so here you can see it's reading. I clicked the detector, add device, and it's there. So it's very easy. In a few seconds, you can have the detector there. Okay, so now I would like to go to partitions. So we have here two partitions. You can have specific inputs in specific partitions, or you can also have in both partitions. So for example, if you want input 1 or zone 1 to be in both partitions, it's okay. And of course, you also have here the settings. If you want to allot time for exit, you also have option to set up the alarm time. So time for exit, for example, the keypad is positioned not exactly near the exit door, but a few meters away. You can enter here, for example, 60 seconds or 120 seconds. So you would have time. We also have here the timer. So you can automatically set it up to arm it and disarm it. This is useful, for example, if you're using it in offices. then you can just set up, if the office starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, you can start disarming it, let's say at 7:30 or 7:45, and then auto arm it again after office hour, let's say at 6:30 in the evening. So there you go. Now we will be going to the output. So we have here 3 outputs. It is notable that the sirens or the alarms is the last one, the third one. So here you go. You can choose a different options here. For example, I can choose alarm and chip. So this is the acknowledgement of the arming and disarming, acoustic acknowledgement of arming and disarming. You can also assign the output in partition 1, partition 2, or in both partitions. So in addition to that, you also have here the option on every how many milliseconds you want it. So the pattern of beeping or the sounds, the alarms. So there you go. Now I would like to show you the remote controllers. So the remote control or key fob, here we have here different buttons. First, I would like to show you how to add the device and to remove the device. So one of the most common questions we receive from our clients is how do you actually remove it? Because usually what happens is that they're clicking here and then they're not able to do what they're supposed to do. So please do remember, guys, that if you would like to, for example, remove the remote control, click on the remote, highlight the entire field, and then remove device. The service code I am using right now is 0000. Okay, there you go, it's gone. Now I will show you how I would be adding it back. So to add the remote control, just click Add Device. Use the service code. I'm using 0000. Read. Okay, so it's reading. As you can see, I've clicked the remote control, so it was able to see it. And there you go, it's there. So in a few seconds, I was able to add a device very easy. You also have here the option to customize what the buttons are for. For example, these are the icons that you can see in the key fob that we are giving out or supplying. You can have here arm, disarm, panic, or any assigned function that you may want. The one here is the default one. It's very clear, but if you want to, I don't know, make it quite tricky for other people not to use it, you can just assign it on your own and it will be much more secure. Okay, so we are now going to the emergency buttons. The emergency buttons can be found in your keypad. So as you can see here, you can assign each buttons to different outputs. For example, if you would press assign fire and output 2, and there would be a fire alarm. If you would press the fire button for more than 3 seconds, then it would generate the alarm for this one. So it's a good function, and of course, you have to activate it to be able to use it. Don't forget to assign specific buttons to specific outputs. Okay, there you go. So guys, I can see here that we have some questions. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. For other details, we would be happy to answer more of them. Okay, now let's go to system options. So the most interesting feature in our system options, I would say, would be the last two here. So Juris code, for example. Juris code is when you would like to send a silent alarm and disarm the facility or the object. So when is this useful? This is useful, for example, if there is a robbery and there is a man pointing a gun at your head. If this man, of course, wants you to disarm the property, you can do so by using the juris code. And by using the juris code, you are able to disarm it as the robber would like. But at the same time, you will be sending alarm to the control monitoring station so that they know that there's something happening. So you are able to do what the robber wants, but at the same time, send information that there's something happening without the robber knowing about it. The other feature that is also very interesting here is show partition arming mode instead of inputs interlocking state. So this is to know that which partitions are activated, arm or disarm. You can see it in the keypad. Yes. So this is very useful if you are using multiple partitions. If you have questions in the other system options that I am showing here on the screen, please let me know. It's very intuitive, some of them, but if there are things that might be a little bit confusing, please let us know and we will clarify these system options to you. Now I would be going to users. Hi guys, I just received a message from one of our participants that the voice is lost. Could you guys confirm, raise your hand if you can hear me? Okay. So thank you for raising your hands. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay. Now we are here in users. So as mentioned earlier, we can have up to 9 users, including the administrator. You can assign a different access code for different users, so you know who is doing what. You can also assign users in a specific partition. So for example, if this user can only access partition 1, or this user can only access partition 2, or if the users can access both partitions. This is very useful, for example, if there are restricted areas for certain people. And please do not forget that when you are using the key fob, which I showed you earlier, okay, I'm going back there. Please identify here which user is using which key fob. So here, remote 1, for example, you can assign it to user 1. Remote 2, you can assign it to user 5, for example. So yeah, please assign it and make sure that it will match. Yes, great. Okay. Now, I would like to show you monitoring. Monitoring, it would be very interesting for you if you would like to receive the events via GPRS or SMS. So, for example, there are certain alarms that you would like to receive via SMS. You may click here which ones. Right now, everything is activated. I don't think you would want all of these things sent to your phone. So just click what you want to receive. We have a long list of events that you can choose from. This may be sent via GPRS or SMS, so you may choose. And of course, you can also have the option to receive the additional data that you may found here. Okay, so for example, if you want to know the GSM status or the battery voltage or the power supply, you can have all this data sent to you as well. So most of the time, people are using GPRS because it's reliable and it also cost less. Okay. Guys, I would like to now ask you some questions regarding some of the things I previously discussed. In the beginning of the presentation, I told you that we will be having a small contest here. So I would be asking you guys 2 questions, and all you have to do is give out the answer in the chat box. So there will be 2 questions, and you have to uh, type the answer in the chat box at the same time. So don't put like answer 1 this, enter, answer 2 this. No, just put the same answer in one message so that Arthur will be easily able to uh, check who the winner is. So the first person who sends the correct answer would win. I would be announcing who wins, and also the prize is quite exciting. At the end of this webinar, I will announcing a surprise for you guys, and so this is connected to that surprise. So my first question is, at the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned that we have uh, 2 programming modules for the Callisto Alarm Control Panel. Please name at least one of the programming module. So that's question number 1. So it was the blue thing earlier and the other thing. Okay, so for question number 2, I would like to ask, what is the service code for Callisto? So the default service code that I have been using earlier. Okay, so please enter your answer, and Arthur will be announcing the winner. So again, the first question is what are the programming modules used? Please send at least 1 of them. And the second question is what is the service code for Callisto, the one that I've been using? Okay, so Arthur, you are checking your answers. Do we have a winner, Arthur? Okay, so who is the winner? So the first one who answered both questions at the same time correctly will be announced. Yeah, okay. So we will announce the winner later at the end because the prize will be connected also to the announcement that I will be doing later. Okay. So guys, thank you for sending your answers. It seems that a lot of you are listening quite well. Yeah, okay. So now I will be continuing with the configurator. Okay. So now we are going to restrictions. So this is one of the things that you have to set up if you would like to activate remote management of your control panel. So here you can set up SMS commands, which numbers are allowed to do SMS commands. So for example, if you would click here, of course, deny all, then SMS commands will not be allowed at all, because no numbers will be accepted. And if you allow all, then any number can send the commands, but we recommend that you choose allow chosen. Why? It is more secure to only allow certain numbers to manage the control panels. So in addition to that, you can of course remove some of them if they're not working in the company anymore. And in addition to that, it is also very important to note that to be able to use this feature, yeah, SMS commands, you have to click here in remote commands and enable it. So without clicking this box, then this does not make sense. So please enable this one first, users remote management, and then assign which numbers you would like to allow to send SMS commands. So for the GSM, you can just have the same settings as in the SMS. This is for the CSD. Okay. I would rather have allow chosen. For example, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So only the mobile number 123 would be able to send the SMS commands. For the SMS commands, the codes are in our manual. Please do check it out. Or you may contact our tech support for assistance. So there are codes to do certain actions for that. Okay. So now we are going to the SMS notification. Under this, actually, I've been receiving a lot of questions from my clients. SMS notification, if you want to activate this feature, first you have to define the numbers. So you can have up to 10 numbers here. Just enter the number. So for example, my number, 456, and then second number, 123, third number, 789. So there you go. As you can see here, I assigned 3 mobile numbers. Let's assume these are mobile numbers. And then I would have to enter messages. So for example, it can be anything that you want. For example, panic, or number 2, let's say fire. Number 3, let's say flood. So you can have different messages. Of course, it can be longer than that. For example, panic, please contact police. Or flood, please contact your dad or your guy to fix your pipes. So it can be any messages. And then let's go to events. In events here, this is where you would be assigning the messages. For example, in input 1, I can assign fire. Then this fire alarm would be sent to, for example, a person with mobile number 5. So you can also assign to all or just assign to some. So for example, for event 2, I'm assigning flood. Then only the person whose mobile number is number 2 can also be here. Yeah. So it's easy. You have a lot of options. So first, you have to enter the numbers, the mobile numbers. Second is you have to enter what messages you would like to be sent. You can have a lot of messages to be assigned. And then in events, you can define which messages will be sent to the numbers here. So remember, you have to up to 10 numbers. And then we also have here a lot of event types. So it's a long list. I will just scroll down to show you guys. Okay, so for example, GSM jamming or duress code. This one is very important. So let's say, for example, for the duress code, panic, please contact police. And then I'm sending it to everyone because I want everyone to know what's happening, that there's this kind of alarm. Okay, so great. Now I'm showing you the options. So for the options, the interesting ones here are the last two below. The first tab here, the cooperation with smartphone, we used to have this for the alert view, which we're not using anymore, so you can disregard this one. So, okay, call before sending SMS. This is very useful. Why? sometimes when you are using your mobile phone and you are in a meeting, you don't check SMS, but when someone is calling you, then you pay attention to your phone, at least to turn it off at least, right? So when you activate this feature, your number will be called. Well, no one will be talking to you, but at least it rings, and then when you receive the SMS, you'll be able to read it right away. So this is just to call attention in case of emergency. And the third one here, remove unsent SMS messages. This is for to not send the messages that are not relevant or necessary anymore. So if there were unsent messages before, it stores. And if you think it's not so necessary to receive them anymore, you can activate this feature. Okay. And let's go to the next tab here, which is SMS Forward. So this is if you would like to receive messages from the SIM card in your control panel. So since we are using GSM GPRS in our Callisto, of course, sometimes the SIM card are receiving messages, for example, from the network provider. If the network provider would, for example, send notification that the balance or the load or the credit of your SIM card is low or is running out, it is important for you to be updated about that. So it would be good by providing and enabling this feature, SMS Forward. So all the messages that comes to your SIM card in the control panel will be forwarded to the number that you will assign here. So SMS forwarding. This is similar to call forwarding in your phone or email forwarding. So it's the same feature. Okay, so now let's go to link control. Now here we have the Watchdog. The Watchdog enables your control panel to automatically restart in case, for example, there is a problem with the signal or internet. So it saves a lot of time for people, for example, monitoring stations, installers, or companies providing the services, providing this security solution. With the Watchdog feature, you don't have to go on site to physically restart the control panel's connection. It automatically restarts and it saves a lot of time, a lot of money. Time is money, so it's quite important. Um, just activate this, turn it on, and it would automatically restart in case, for example, there was down in the internet. So it's quite easy and very, very, very useful. Okay, there you go. So I have discussed the first 9 tabs here. If you have more questions, for example, what is Watchdog? So Watchdog is the feature that automatically restarts your connection, GSM and GPRS. So you don't have to physically go there and restart it. So yeah, I can see here that you guys have been asking interesting questions. Keep it coming. Okay, so Arthur have verified to me the winner of the game that we played earlier. So I would like to congratulate Albert Joseph. Congratulations, you won the contest earlier. I would be getting in touch with you to let you know what you won. It's very exciting. I like this prize actually. I like it a lot. Okay, so now before I close the configurator, I would show you where you would be able to monitor the device. So first, you have to set your programming module to monitor. Set it up. Right now, I am using an SP Prog, and I just clicked switched it to monitoring. And now you have to click this desktop over here, desktop, the monitor, and you'll be landing in this page. So all you have to do is press this button here, play, and then it will show you everything that is happening to the device. So for example, here, you can see the different inputs, which is generating alarm, for example, which are quite stable. So you can see the inputs here, and if there are logs, you can also see it here. So that's quite useful information, for example, to check a GSM signal, and yeah. Yeah, there you go. So this is useful also for diagnosis. Okay, now I would like to show you the mobile application. Right. So AVA is one of the tools that you can use to manage and monitor your control panel. So first, I would be showing you how to use, how to download it and where to find it. So step number one. Let me tell you guys, it's very simple. There are only 4 steps for this. So step number one is go to Google Play Store or Apple Store. Just open it. And then in the search tab, please type AVA EBS. So it will be easier for you to find this specific application. Once you have typed AVA EBS, please choose the first one here with this icon. So there. Alert view over here, this is the old version that we were using. So this is the latest one, AVA. And of course, step number 3 is just to install it. Okay. So once you have installed it, you will be landing in this home page. The first thing that you have to do for first-time users, of course, is to register. So the things that you have to prepare in registering, you will be entering the application server. So please use this code, ava.ebs3.com/ava. And then you have to enter the serial number of your control panel. 516713, that's my control panel. And then on the third line over here, please enter the access code, the PIN. So this is what you have assigned to your device. So after that, please enter a valid email address here. Make sure that it is correct so that you will be able to receive all the updates. Once you have registered, these are things that you may see. So one of the good things about this mobile application is that you can monitor multiple objects. What does it mean? For example, you have your control panel at home, you have control panel in your office, and you have control panel in your warehouse. So you would be able to monitor multiple sites at the same time in the same application. So for example, the second image here with the partition one, as you can see here, it's very simple interface which you can arm, disarm, and also, for example, if you would like to see the history of what happened, you can also have it there. So there are other buttons that you may explore when you have downloaded this. Yeah. when you want to add, for example, when you registered, you only entered one serial number of control panel, right? And you see here there are two objects or two control panels. When you are in the Ava application, there is an option to add another device. So it will be very easy. Just explore it, or if you have questions, please let us know. We have a manual for Ava inside Ava, so you can also check that out. Okay, so I would like to highlight some information about the control panel. Going back, as I have mentioned earlier, there are three outputs in the Callisto. So one is the high current one. This is assigned for the siren. And we also have the low current. So the transmission channels, actually I saw that people were asking about this earlier. The Callisto is using GPRS and SMS transmission. The data sending from our device to the OSM are encrypted, so rest assured that it is very safe. The communication through our OSM is very reliable. It is working in redundant system. And please remember, the OSM of EBS is one of the best in the world, very reliable, and it is free. I am aware that in other system you might have to pay for the middleware, but we give it for free, the software, so it's quite good. And of course, we have the Watchdog feature wherein the device would be automatically restarted if you enable the Watchdog feature. So it would save you time and money to restart the device yourself. So there you go. And of course, what is good about having this device is that configuration may be done remotely and on-site. So of course, on-site, you have the keypad. The codes for the keypad may be found in our manual. If you still don't have the manuals, you can go to the website. I showed you earlier how to log in. So remember the password and username is EBS, and you can have the codes, manuals there where you also find the codes. You may also have the configurator in your computer, so that's another on-site configuration. And remotely, of course, it may be done by GPRS connection, SMS commands, and CSD ka na. So it's very convenient that you don't have to be on site to reconfigure your device. Saves you a lot. Time, money, resources. And yes, of course, please remember that for remote configuration using SMS, it is limited to some features, not all, so just take note. And now, I have a very, very, very good, exciting surprise for you guys. What you can see now on your screen is the new EBS Mini Prog. We just launched this product. So what it does is that you can configure and set up your control panel just by using this device. This device is as small as the USB. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so this is the mini prog. Okay, where is it? Yeah, there. You just have to plug it in the control panel, and then wait. You just plug it in the control panel, And then you have to download our new mobile application, which is called Ava Install. Ava Install will be available in Google Play soon, probably by March or end of February. So you just have to have miniprog in the Ava install, and that's it. You can literally set up everything in your control panel. So it is so this is the Ava install. Can you see in your screen? Okay. So this is the Ava install. I will enter 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what it does is that it is a configurator in your mobile phone. So, for example, if you are an installer and you would like to set up this device to your client, all you have to do is have that mini prog with you, your mobile phone, and the mobile application. It's called Ava Install. And then there you go. You can actually set everything up, add the, for example, add the sensors, configure which zones would be in which partition. So it's literally a configurator on your mobile phone. So you don't have to bring a computer anymore to install and configure a device on site. It would be already in your phone. So that's so exciting. Why? Because this is one of the new innovations of EBS. And no companies have this feature yet. It's very independent also. Um, it's connected via Bluetooth. And yeah, imagine setting up your device with just that device. And that's it. Okay, I will show you the panel of the Ava install. Okay, so here's the mini prog, a very small but really powerful device that would enable you to set it up. So this is like an SP prog, GD prog in a small version for the control panel. And this is the tabs. So as you can see here, the Ava panels are only 6. It's very simple. And then, for example, if you've already downloaded configurations, you can see here input, outputs. So it's literally like a configurator. It's very exciting, makes your work easier, makes the installers work easier. And it even saves you time because, for example, you don't have to memorize all the codes in the keypad because in Ava install, everything is intuitive and easy. Okay. So there you go, guys. Ava install will be available in the market soon. We will have some of the devices in stock with us by end of February or first week of March. Please ask your sales managers about it. This is really one of the easiest device to use and bring with you if you would like to go to your client and set it up. So yeah, there you go. Ava install would also be Ava install application will be available for downloading soon. We will announce, we will let you know. Your sales managers will be sending you updates about it. So for the winner earlier on the game, you just won a mini prog. So you'll be able to test it. So of course you have to have your Callisto to be able to use it. So place your orders also for that one. Okay, so there you go. I can see that there are some questions coming in. For more questions, we are open. Even when we end this webinar, Arthur and I will be staying and answering all your questions. So let me just summarize, guys. The Callisto alarm control panel is very universal in such a way that it's a hybrid system. It's wired and wireless also, so 16 zones. And most of the requirements of our clients, this solution matches. For example, I ask my clients in the Philippines how many zones they were usually using for their clients. The answer, if I remember correctly, was just 8 zones, so it's quite enough, 16. And we have some new news for you. We will be sending updates. We will also be having another webinar next month. For the topic and the schedule, an email will be sent to you. So at the end of this webinar also, there will be a survey. Please let us know what you think. You will have an option there to request for what topic to be discussed for the next webinars. So for example, if you would like to discuss about active track, active guard, FPX10, transmitters, OSM. So any topics that you would like, please let us know. And of course, we can also conduct the webinars in different languages. So for example, if you would like it to be in French, if you would like it to be in Spanish, in Polish also, or even in my language. So I'm from the Philippines. You can also have the language Filipino if you would like. Different sales managers are conducting the webinars every time. So we have a lot of people who can speak different languages here. So just request away and we will work it out. So guys, I will be staying with our tour in this webinar session for the next, let's say, 30 minutes. So please send all your questions. We will answer them. Please do not forget to call and coordinate with your sales managers regarding orders for the Callisto control panels. Also for the mini prog, for those of you who would like to test the mini prog, yeah, you can test them once they're available. We've already tested them and it's really amazing. I was personally excited about it because, you know, it makes so much things easier. If you also have technical questions about other devices non-related to this webinar today, you can send your questions to tech support at ebs.pl. So I will be contacting the winner for the contest earlier. By the way, guys, I would like to share with you that the Callisto won an award last year in Secutech. So it just shows you how great the device is. We receive a question about the keypad. It's interesting because a lot of people are also asking about this, so I would share it with you. So as you can see here, we have the white and the black keypad. In addition to that, we also have a wireless keypad. So For the price list of the keypads, the sensors, or any devices, please coordinate with your sales manager. There can be up to 3 keypads per Callisto per control panel. So that's also one interesting information to share with you guys. For those who participated in this webinar, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for listening. I hope that you learned something today, or I hope that some things were made even clearer to you. Okay, another clarification. Mm, there are 16 zones in the Callisto, so 16 can all be wireless. And of course, 7 of it can be wired. It's up to you how you would like to use it.
Muted.
So it would be interesting to share with you guys also that you can also use your own OSM software on your site with your monitoring software. So you can have everything on your side as an option. Yes. Okay, guys, just to clarify again, the Callisto has 16 zones in total. So that is including wired and wireless. So there is an option to have, out of those 16, 7 can be wired and then the rest can be wireless. Or if you want everything, can be wireless. So total is 16.